I grew up in a small, quiet town that people only remembered because the highway passed near it. A place where every face was familiar, every house looked the same, and every rumor spread faster than the wind. People liked to think it was safe, peaceful, ordinary. But the truth was simple: our town was only quiet because something wanted it that way. Something that lived in the empty spaces we never looked at for too long. The disappearances didn't start suddenly, they crept in like a sickness. The first kid went missing in late August. His name was Ethan. He was quiet, soft-spoken, walked with his shoulders hunched like he was trying to make himself smaller. The day he vanished, he stayed late after school for a science project. He never came home. The last person who saw him was the librarian, who said Ethan looked pale and distracted, like he was listening to something she couldn't hear. 3 days later, a janitor found Ethan's backpack behind the gym. The straps were torn, as if someone had ripped it away from him. His notebooks were missing, but the bag smelled faintly of dirt, wet, cold dirt, like it had been underground. People panicked a little, but in my town, panic never lasted long. Folks convinced themselves Ethan just ran away. A few weeks passed, and life pretended to be normal again. Then Lily disappeared. She was last seen walking past the church, humming to herself. A neighbor claimed he heard a scream, but it didn't sound human. The police searched the woods, the river, the abandoned quarry. Nothing. But dogs brought in to track her scent kept circling one same spot behind the church. A patch of ground that looked freshly disturbed. When the officers dug, expecting the worst, they found nothing except the roots of an old tree wrapped tightly around something hollow beneath the soil. After that, curfews began. Kids weren't allowed out after sunset. Everyone double-checked their locks. But houses didn't matter. Locks didn't matter. Whatever was taking those kids wasn't breaking in through doors. It was waiting, watching, choosing. By the time Aaron disappeared, the entire town was drowning in fear. His room was found in chaos. His closet door was ripped off its hinges from the inside, the window frame cracked, scratch marks on the floorboards like something had been dragging him away. But his parents swore they never heard a sound. Nothing. Not even breathing. But Aaron came back. 3 days later, they found him standing at the edge of the woods, facing the trees. Not moving. His eyes were wide open. His skin gray and cold. He didn't blink when they carried him home. He didn't speak. He didn't sleep. He didn't eat. Doctors said he was in psychological shock. But the truth was more terrifying. He acted like something was still inside him. He never reacted to noise, but when lights flickered, his head would jerk sharply toward the ceiling, like he was waiting for something to appear. One night at 3 a.m., he walked into his parents' room and whispered 4 words, "It's still down there." Then he left the house, not through the front door, through the woods. They never found him again. After Aaron, the pattern changed. The disappearances weren't random anymore. They happened only after the blackouts. Not normal blackouts. These were different. The lights didn't just shut off, they were drained. Every bulb went dead instantly. Every phone died. Even battery-powered lamps flickered out. For exactly 2 minutes, the town went silent. No wind, no insects, not even breathing. People described feeling watched. Like something enormous was standing outside their houses, pressing its weight into the walls, listening for movement inside. My uncle, a retired electrician, did tests on the power lines after one of the blackouts. He said something horrifying: the electricity wasn't lost. It was pulled. Like something swallowed it whole. The final disappearance happened on a snowless December night. A boy named Kyle vanished walking home from a friend's house. A neighbor saw him turning the corner. And then Kyle simply wasn't there. No scream. No running. Just empty air where a person had been. That night, the blackout came again, but this time, it lasted longer. 5 minutes, 10, 20. My parents sat in the living room holding candles, trying to stay calm. I sat in my room, unable to breathe. The house was too quiet. The kind of quiet that hurt your ears. Then I heard it, a slow, dragging sound outside my window. Not footsteps, something heavier, something pulling itself, inch by inch, across the frozen ground. My heart hammered in my chest. I pulled my blanket over my mouth and stared at the window, praying it wouldn't open. Then something tapped on it, not lightly. 3 long, sharp taps, each one harder than the last. I wanted to scream but couldn't move. Couldn't even blink. The tapping stopped. But the glass began to bend inward, not crack, bend, like something strong was pressing its face against it from the outside. The lights snapped back on, instant silence. The window was normal. No cracks, no marks. But the snow on the ground outside had deep, twisted trails, like something had been crawling on its stomach across my yard. The next morning, the police claimed the outages were caused by faulty wiring. But no one believed them. Not after what happened to Kyle. His parents moved away 3 days later. They said they couldn't live near the woods anymore. Weeks passed. Winter ended. People forced themselves to forget. Forced the town to pretend everything was fine, but I knew better. One foggy morning, walking to school, I saw them. Tiny handprints pressed into the wet dirt near the woods, not 1, not 2, dozens, all facing the town, and in the middle of them, one enormous footprint, not human, not even close. The ground around it was sunken almost a foot deep, as if something impossibly heavy had been standing there, watching, waiting, deciding. The disappearances stopped, but every few nights, when the streetlights flicker, when the wind dies suddenly, when the whole town seems to hold its breath, I swear I hear that sound again, the dragging, slow, hungry, getting closer.